What's up, everybody? This is Austin and Anthony's first run of the podcast. It's a very dry run. It's a speed run, some would say. It's gonna be a good time. We're gonna talk about such things as virtual reality.
Very exciting.
Maybe some graphics cards and
to push those virtual reality headsets.
Yeah, the virtual realities are gonna be pushed. It's gonna be a good time. Everybody's gonna have some fun times.
Definitely.
So Anthony, I have a question for you.
Uh-huh.
You just got to try the HTC Vive for the first time.
I did.
How did you feel about this device?
It was shockingly similar to the Rift.
Really?
Very, very similar. So, like, a big difference with the hardware on the Vive and the Rift are the lenses that are actually, like, focus you in on the screens.
Huh.
And the Vive has, like, so the lenses are circular, and then there's tiny little rings that go very small in the center and then keep getting bigger and bigger as they go on the outside. The Vives are thicker, and the Rifts are very fine. So the fine rings, they're called Fresnel lenses.
Okay.
The fine rings on the Rift allow for a bigger focal area, so you can move your eyes around and everything's in focus. And the Vive, the bigger ones, allow for less God rays, but there's a more focused focal area for your eyeballs. So you have to kind of move your head more to actually read things. And I did actually notice that. I've read about that for a long time. Like, that's like a big difference between the two.
I see.
And but it wasn't like big enough for me to like be concerned about it.
Okay.
So the Rift has like God rays. You know, when like sun kind of like gleams through something, it like has like rays. So when there's something that is a dark background and a very small area of like very bright like things.
Yeah.
There's like rays that come from it, and that's like the big downside of the Rift, I think.
So like, would this be like if there's like a black background and like super big white words or something? They would have like a glow or something.
For some reason, like a lot of us, especially on Reddit, are perplexed by from the reasoning of these app developers that decide to have their splash screen be a complete black background, and then their title is in like bright white.
Right.
So we're not sure if they like inadvertently mean to have those God rays just to look cool, because they look like, I guess you could make it where like you mean to do that, because it kind of has
like
a
halo
weird
or
effect
something.
as you move around.
Right.
But we don't, like, everybody online doesn't think, we don't know why they have that all the time. So a lot of like, you don't see them in game, because usually you see all the colors and there's not just whatever.
Yeah.
But in Elite Dangerous, you can kind of see them. But like when you start getting like immersed in the game, you don't like pay attention to it. But like splash screens, when you're not doing anything, you're just waiting, it's very
super obvious,
very prominent. Yeah.
Got you.
So I didn't really notice the God rays as much on the Vive, because the rings on the lenses are bigger. This is what I've read, why the God rays aren't as prominent on the Vive. But I did see them on the outside. So there's still like, it's basically light bouncing around from the screen to the lens in that chamber. And there's like light bleeding over. I don't know. That's just what I gathered from reading.
I see, yeah.
So it's kind of like a side effect of just the style of lenses needed in order to like focus on the screens like that.
I see. And you're saying it's better on the Vive?
The God rays are much better on the Vive, but the focal area is considerably smaller.
I see.
So it's like a trade-off.
Yeah. So it was like similar in terms of like latency and stuff.
The Rift is really good. The Vive was really good with, I didn't see any judder with the controllers on the Vive, and then having the Rift for about 3 weeks, almost 3 weeks now. I can stand up, move around, like even like go almost seemingly out of view of the camera, and it still is tracking. Like I have to like think of it like, oh my god, it's still tracking me from this far away.
Yeah.
Now, the Rift doesn't have the controllers, so there's no room scale for that yet. And then even when the Rift gets controllers and the other camera for like standing up and like walking around, it's not going to be as big of an area as Vive.
Right. Because it's not made for that.
What was it?
Because it's not made for that. They're just built with different things in mind, I feel like.
Palmer, the founder, previously has said that he's making this initially for a like standing kind of like 180 in front of your computer. So a lot of like videos do well with 180 where you're kind of like looking left to right but not like completely 360 around. Now there are infrared LED trackers on the back of the Vive or the Rift as well. So you can turn all the way around. So in some, like the Dream Deck, I think it's called, that Oculus comes shipped with, you do turn around. So there's like this T-Rex demo that like comes towards you and he like walks over you and you like turn around and you can like completely turn all the way around. Yeah. So I mean, I've like tested it out. So it works really well, but I don't think it's going to be like the 15 foot by 15 foot that the Vive can do.
I see. Got you. Yeah.
So the Vive's going to be unique in that, like, because I believe the PSVR is also kind of like geared towards being like kind of in front of the TV, but you still can turn around.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be like kind of a mix between the two because it does have the light sensors on the front and the back, and it works with the PlayStation camera. So if you turn your head around, it's still reading your motions, like the back of your head, stuff like that, kind of like what you were talking about.
Yeah, because I think I saw lights on the back of it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it works. Yeah, it works. Yeah.
I'm looking at your poster. I'm like, just to confirm, I don't even have to Google it. I'm looking at Austin's San Francisco PSVR poster.
Yeah,
and it has confirmed that there are lights in the back.
Yeah, I got that at PSX. It was a good time. But yeah, it's not made with like room scale in mind, kind of like the Vive is. So it's not gonna have a camera in like the top corner of your room and stuff, and you're not gonna be able to walk around that much. You're probably gonna be either seated or standing when you're using it, which like every demo I've played, that's been the case. So it's kind of similar to the Rift in that sense. You're only gonna be like seated or standing, but it's also kind of like the Vive, and you can turn all the way around and stuff like that. So it's kind of a mixture between the two.
But I will say the Vive, it was neat when I was demoing it today, which was my first time with the Vive today. It did have, it's called like a chaperone system, or whatever they call it, where if you get to the boundaries, the grids come up. That was pretty neat. That was the first time experiencing that.
Tron grids, yeah.
So, I mean, the area they had roped off the Microsoft store was kind of big, but not like super big. But it was, definitely big enough to experience. I think it was 3 demos.
Yeah, it was 3 or 4.
It was like Tilt Brush, Space Pirates, and like Under the Ocean.
Yeah, some weird blue whale simulator.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a little girl that came up like just out of earshot with the headphones on. I could hear her like, oh my god. So I like kept looking at the whale. I knew she was like watching her
TV. Yeah. When I did it and like when somebody else did it before me, I was just kind of wandering around looking at the ocean, but the dude came up and he's like, yeah, turn around. And I turned around, I'm like, what? And there was like a blue whale. It's like flipping its tail in my face. I was like, oh!
See, I turned around right when his eyeball was like checking me out. I had no idea he was checking me out.
And you're like,
so I was looking at like the stingray or whatever.
Yeah, it's cool. But yeah, it was awesome. What was your favorite demo? Because out of the 3.
I would say Space Pirates was definitely utilized room scale and how well the controllers worked on it. It was really neat. So I had a shield in my left hand and then like the laser pistol in my right, and it was pretty natural. I'll say, like, when I started getting, so there were 2 like space robots coming towards me. 1 went to my right, 2 went to my left. I instinctively put my shield to the left and then fired to the right, not even looking at the 2 on the left. Like, it was so natural. So now I like reading everybody's experience with room scale. Like, I totally get it. And I kind of wish I would have gotten both so I could test it and then like flip one for like a profit. I should have done that. I don't know why I didn't, but I might, like, honestly, if I had both, it would be a really tough decision. Because like I like I don't want to, because I don't like exclusives, but I like the exclusives of the Rift, and I like how I can use the Oculus Home Store and Steam. That's that was a huge selling part for me.
Right.
But Vive people have like a shell they can use. It's like a digital shell that allows them to do the Rift exclusive now. It's kind of like a Band-Aid hack work type thing, but apparently it works really well. So they can like use all the demos on the Oculus Store.
Okay.
And that didn't last long. It was like out for like, I want to say like a week, maybe a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks before someone figured out how to put like a shell over it.
Gotcha. Total PC thing.
Yeah. There's always another way. Someone will always find a way to get around your artificial limitations.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm hoping like the PSVR gets kind of the same kind of stuff too, because it's coming out without any PC support, right? But the DualShock 4 came out without PC support too, and you could plug that in and play any game with it after like a week because of people like developing like drivers and stuff so that you can plug it in.
Yeah, it's amazing how like the communities can like really come through. Like for no pay, like a lot of people don't even do it for donations. Like, I'm not sure who made the shell for the Vive to use Oculus exclusives, but props to them. That's really cool for that community.
Yeah, no doubt. Definitely. Yeah. Because if I can get like PC use out of my PSVR 2, then that's like huge. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, right. That would be a huge thing for the PSVR.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's like a huge selling point because it's only like $500, $400 if you don't get like the extra garbage with it.
Yeah.
So that'd be huge.
It seems like controller support. I mean, the controllers for the PSVR have been out for quite some time, so it's not like that's like new to like developers.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like Oculus is behind schedule for controllers and like walking around type thing. That's obvious. So they just got out their like test kits to developers a little bit ago, whereas like the Vive has been out for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like they have like a final engineering sample, like what the developers are getting right now look pretty consumer ready. Like
really?
Honestly, yeah, the photos they just started coming out. Someone did an unboxing and he opened it with like a katana. Pretty funny. And
nice.
But yeah, they look like really. They don't look like dev kits. They look real consumer ready. So that's pretty exciting. I'm hoping they come out pretty soon. I'm just concerned about what kind of games are utilizing it right now, because like that was the turning point of me deciding to stick with the Rift instead of both or just the Vive, was that everything I was seeing for room scale seemed even more tech demo-y than everything else. Like really? It just seemed real shallow. And a lot of games for like all systems right now kind of seem a little shallow. There's no like AAA, Grand Theft Auto, 60 hours, sit down and try to plow through it in like a 3-day weekend type situation. It's all like Chronos, I hear, is like beautiful, and but it only lasts like 5 to 6 hours. I'm kind of hesitant to spending $50 for that.
I know what you mean. Yeah, that's why I'm stoked about the PSVR, is because like not all of Sony's first-party studios are going to be like developing for it, because they're not going to them and like holding up a knife to their throats and saying you have to make games for this. But the ones that do, those are going to be like big AAA games. So like Gran Turismo Sport, which just got like a bunch of trailers and new footage today. It's going to come out VR compatible. So that's a big AAA huge game that everybody's probably going to buy. Yeah. And if everybody does buy it and they see, oh, this is VR compatible, that's going to be a huge selling point for PSVR. And that's going to get a bunch of VR headsets in-house. And if people like that, will they jump to like the Oculus or the Vive because it's better, quote unquote?
I would imagine developers have a huge incentive to develop for the PSVR just for the simple user base that's currently out there right now. And then you have the holiday season coming up rapidly. I know it's like just beginning summer, but I'm sure like all companies are just like Oculus, I'm sure, is trying to get their controllers out before Christmas. Everybody thinks like November. I'm hoping September, but and like everybody's like manufacturing. PSVR's pre-orders. When does it launch?
October.
Yeah. So everybody's. It's like. Yep. Oculus rushed out their headset, obviously, because there's huge delays. Vive, there was delays, but they seem to have their stuff together more, which makes sense because HTC's been manufacturing stuff for all sorts of companies for a very long time.
Totally.
And then obviously PlayStation and Sony, there's Juggernaut. So yeah, this will be a big Christmas, the holiday season for VR.
Yes.
Like this is just the very beginning.
Oh, it's definitely an exciting time to be alive.
Exactly. And now like hardware manufacturers are coming to meet demand for the processing needs. So NVIDIA just launched their two 1080 and 1070 graphics cards, which, especially in VR, they blow out the current, like even the flagship, the Titan X, out of the water for VR. But they're also like 20-30% in like all other games, at least at 4K down. So definitely a huge improvement. And I think the 1070 is like almost as fast as the Titan X, which is crazy because that's an almost $400 card at launch. I think it's like 3 something. I don't know. They're getting real weird with like Founders Editions, which is like $100 more than normal. It's really a lot is a little different this time, but it makes sense. Every year there's always like a hardware refresh by either AMD or NVIDIA. So I guess you can't expect be on the top for too long unless you want to shell out like thousands of dollars all the time.
Yeah, totally. And how much was the Titan?
My Titan X was $1,000 at launch, and then I got a water cooler from EVGA, and that was $100. But that allowed me to overclock it to like 1450, which is like a massive overclock. So a base clock is 1,000. Is it gigahertz? I think it's a gigahertz. Or no, it's megahertz.
Megabots.
Yeah, so
Autobots.
It's 1,000. So basically, the metric is 1,000 at that's the clock speed, and then like a 1450 overclock. So that's like 45% more.
Yeah.
But it doesn't actually scale up like that. So it's actually like probably around 20-30% more than what you get as you buy it as like a general consumer.
I got you.
So if you like have the programs to, like overclock and you have the proper cooling for it, you can add 20-30% performance just by changing a few numbers and like having a good cooling solution. So like $100 water cooler, yeah, that like it seems like it would just be like cool to have or whatever, but there's actually like a really big purpose. Like so even a 20% boost on like the fastest at that time is huge. Like so it's already like blowing things out of the water, but like then additional 20, and everybody else that knows what they're doing is doing it too. But so even with my Titan X overclock to 1450, the 1080, I believe, because that thing can overclock to like 2.1 gigahertz. So it's pretty crazy.
God.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's monster. I know I've never even, other than things being on like liquid nitrogen cooling, I've never seen anything clock that high on like a GPU. And so it's like pretty crazy.
That is totally crazy.
Yeah, I think my friend might be getting one. I'm not sure.
Nice. I have to become friends with that man.
But yeah, the good thing is like NVIDIA's working in all these background things for VR along with this, so it's really exciting. So basically, I guess what I'm trying to get at is like hardware everybody's coming together this year, it seems like, for like VR. So like there's not a ton of content, but there's more than I expected.
Yeah,
I don't know if that
definitely.
makes any sense.
I completely agree too.
So I was expecting like in 2 days being like, okay, well, I guess I'll just keep reading the news for the next thing.
Yeah.
But really, like, I've been like stuck on a few games, and I'm like not wanting to like spend more money and dump all, buy everything.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm pretty happy with it actually.
Sweet.
Like I think we talked earlier how every day I'm spending about 1 to 2 hours in VR just naturally because I want to, not because like I spent $600 on a Rift. I have to.
Yeah, totally.
I look forward to it, and like I look at the clock, wondering where the time goes. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. So good VR talk. Good VR talk. One that we've had many times with different permutations and different, different things.
Well, it's cool because I need to try the PSVR. I've now tried the Vive and the Rift, and you've tried the Vive.
Yeah, I've tried Vive, and I tried like Dev Kit 2 of Rift. I haven't tried like the consumer ready Crescent Bay or whatever
CB1.
model. Yeah. So I haven't tried that one yet, but I tried the old version. I tried the Vive in the mall. Did the same thing as you did.
Okay.
And I tried PSVR. Played what's the Eve Valkyrie.
Okay.
I played that, and I played this other indie game too.
Okay.
It was about like fixing up a spaceship. It was called like Nog or something, I think. I can't remember who made it, but yeah, it's a crazy weird indie game, which is great, and it's in third person too, which is like the thing that I didn't expect with these VR headsets was that third person games were going to be so awesome with them.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, going into it, it's like first person big AAA games, but even just like desktop apps, right?
Yeah.
Even just like putting on the headset and being like, oh, I've got my desktop in front of me.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Or just playing a third person game where you're just like running around like a platformer or something.
Yeah, third person games were like it stole the show for me, really. Like the Blaze Rush that I was telling you about. That is the one game that I always, like, within an hour or 2 hours, I gotta play at least a couple rounds of that. It's crazy. That good. I don't know why, but it's really fun.
It's awesome. We're gonna have to play some Rocket League in a bit so you can compare the two.
Yeah, I would like to play some Rocket League.
I played a little bit,
League. But nothing substantial.
Nice,
but like a couple of you guys have said that it's really addicting.
Yeah, it's like car soccer. I got away from that life, but I think Patrick, a friend from work, Patrick, who we may actually call here in a few minutes, is way into it, and he keeps getting sucked back in. They added basketball, so it's not only car soccer.
I read about that, yeah.
It's car basketball now, and that kind of got him back in the game a little bit.
How high are the hoops?
I have no idea. I haven't tried it, I think it's paid DLC. It might not be. Might be totally wrong about that.
Yeah.
Might have to Google that guy. But yeah, I haven't gotten to try it. There's too many games out, Anthony. I can't even beat the ones that I have.
Yeah.
I did the traditional like JRPG thing that I do with every JRPG that I play, and then like I got to like the last boss in Final Fantasy X, and then stopped playing forever. So it's like I did that with Final Fantasy 13 and Earthbound, and I loved Earthbound. It's like a Super Nintendo game, old like Super Nintendo game.
I've heard of Earthbound. I've never.
Yeah. So like, did you play Smash? You play Smash Brothers?
Yeah.
Okay. You know like Ness.
One of the first ones.
Okay. Yeah. You know Ness from Smash Brothers, who was like an unlockable character or whatever.
Not right. I was always Pikachu.
Alright.
I know that I'm not like pandering to the host.
No, it's all good. So you did like the downbeat Thundershock thing constantly, like everybody that played Pikachu.
Yeah.
Nice. That's okay. But yeah,
I just like the big lightning bolt that I could be underneath.
Yeah. I had a friend that did that too. But yeah, like Earthbound, did the same thing. Got to the very last boss, didn't beat it, and I'm about to do the same thing with Final Fantasy X. I can see myself never going back to that game again. Just because it's like last bosses in RPGs are so cumbersome, and they always have 3 forms, and it's like sitting down and saying I'm gonna beat this is like a huge dedication.
Oh, so like you beat one part of him and then he's like changes or
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's like especially with Final Fantasy games, it's like a tradition where it's like you beat one form and then you beat another form and like you beat another form.
Oh really? Yeah, that usually frustrates me in the games I play.
Yeah.
So I feel like I see the progress bar and he's like almost dead and I'm like, wait, what is this? You know, like regen.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And Earthbound, I don't think Earthbound is like that in like having 3 different forms, but like it's annoying because the save point is not right in front of the boss. So not only would I have to like boot up the game again and just fight the boss, I'd have to like boot up the game, remember the controls from 2 years ago, go through all these tunnels and fight these like high level bad dudes.
Oh, because you've been away from it for so
long.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yep, because I'm in like the final stage of the game, and then I have to beat the boss, and like the boss has some weird. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. It's a bad time. But it's a regret I have in my life. But yeah, JRPGs. So yeah, good VR talk.
Yeah, that was kind of what I went through with. I was afraid when I got back to The Witcher that I wouldn't know anything, and I wouldn't remember the controls. I'm real big on like sticking with one game because like my brain gets like real like where it doesn't even have to think with like the buttons.
Yeah.
And I like that, and I'm not like one of those people that can just pick up a game and like play like 4 different story games at once, just flipping through them. I'm never like that. So usually I pick, especially if it's like a game on like rails where it's like a story mode. Like I gotta almost like as if it was a book, have to finish it from start to finish. That's why I was kind of like depressing, never beating Witcher, got like halfway through. But then when I actually got back into it and beat it, then I was depressed for having nothing more.
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean. I think that's definitely the good way to go about it. I try to do something like that, like have one big game going on and maybe like some other little games in the background.
Yeah, little games I can probably.
Yeah, for like palate cleansers and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I guess mine will be Blaze Rush.
Yeah.
I can always get into that now.
I gotta play that game.
But yeah, definitely. Yeah, I need to have people come over. So I have it's called VR cover. It's a piece of cloth that goes over the actual Rift. For like when people come over and demo it,
is it
like
so I don't
a
get
lot.
Lice?
Not just like if it was one person, I don't care. You know what I mean? So if like a bunch of people come over, it like might get like gross or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not like a germaphobe or anything, but
you gotta be
a lot
careful.
of people are It's coming from Germany. I had no idea. So it said it shipped like almost 2 weeks ago. I don't know. I'm gonna have to like email them, but yeah, the Vive at the Microsoft store had VR cover on it. I like said it under my breath. I was like, because like the person that does that is very active on the subreddit of Oculus, and I think Vive as well. It's really cool seeing like people making peripherals. There's also another company that's making prescription eyeglasses that insert into the actual headset, so you don't have to wear glasses. That's it. They haven't developed it yet, but it's basically like Zini.com, that website where you can get glasses for real cheap. You basically just put in your prescription, and they send a prescription glasses, to your doorstep. But they're doing it. It's like this insert that fits right into the headset. It's really cool.
That's awesome.
So it's like it's cool just seeing the community and they're like making money off of it. VR cover, they're making money off of that.
Nice. Yeah, it's been a weird thing, especially with conventions, because like when I was at PAX recently, I played the PSVR demo, but like I was the last one that got to play it because they were like, all right, after this one we're gonna take it down, and I was like, I wonder why. But later I found out that some kid had like tweeted about getting pink eye from VR at PAX, and people were like freaking out, so they took all the headsets down and stuff. Turns out later the kid was just full of crap, and his eye was just red. He wasn't even trolling, he was just dumb. He was just wrong. He'd never had pink eye before. He's like, my eyes are red, it's supposed to be pink eye.
He's probably just crying.
Yeah. So the dudes behind me didn't get to play Nog on PSVR, which sucked for them because that kid had a fake pink eye.
Oh man, yeah, I would be a little upset. Yeah, they were definitely wiping it down at the Microsoft.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But yeah, they had the sweat-proof VR covers because I bought the 2 cloth ones because you can put them in the washing machine and everything. So
nice.
Yeah, so I was like, well, if I could rewash them, I don't need the sweat-proof one because they're just more like vinyl-y.
Probably more expensive.
If more, it was like $5 or something like that, if I remember correctly.
So not enough to even think about then.
Yeah, not really. I think everybody, especially on Reddit, as they were launching that for the CV1, was wishing for like a combo pack because they only came in like 2 of this or 2 of that. So I think he took that advice, and then in future little bundles he'll have it, or he might already have it ready. I don't know.
That's good.
I don't know. He's over in Germany.
Yeah, right. Awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So that's pretty much like still loving VR. Experience the Vive. I want to experience the PSVR. I'm not sure when that would happen. Hopefully sometime before October, but you never know.
Yeah, Anthony, I'm worried that I might not be able to get the PSVR when it launches now.
Why? How so?
So it's like $500, right? And I've got it pre-ordered.
Yeah.
But like a lot of things are happening now.
Okay.
That also require me to spend money at the same time.
Oh. Okay.
So it's like I got my Canada trip paid off going to Canada in July, right? Mm-hmm. So that's fine. That was like on the books forever. But like, I don't know if I told you about like my trip to the dentist like a week ago.
Oh, I knew you were going to the dentist.
Yeah, so I went to the dentist and it ended up not being a very good time.
Oh no.
Yeah, so like.
Bad news.
Yeah, so like I had a tooth taken out a couple years ago, just to get off on a tangent really quick.
Oh, no, that's fine. I mean, your teeth look great for like people listening.
Thank you.
This is like new to me. Like this is genuine.
Yeah. Okay. So like, had a tooth taken out before I started working at like our job where we work now, and since it was before I started working there, the insurance wouldn't cover it, right?
Okay.
So I went to the dentist. They're like, you need a new tooth, but like you're gonna be paying like $1 gazillion because your insurance isn't covering it yet.
I think I remember talking about it. Yeah.
So they were like, wait 2 years.
Okay.
And come back, and we'll give you like so much money for this tooth with your insurance. And I was like, all right, sweet. Sounds like a good deal. So I went back a week ago. It's been a year and a half. It's almost time for me to get my new tooth.
Oh, like an implant.
Yeah, like an implant.
Okay.
Like they're gonna drill in there. Oh, you got one of those?
No, I have a space right there. Yeah, I need one.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, the problem is like since last time, the space where the tooth was supposed to go has gotten like too small.
Too small. I feel like mine's getting bigger. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
Whatever. Okay. But like yeah, so I went and I was like, yeah. So any chance I can get that implant anytime soon? Because my 2 years is coming up, and then this is like, yeah, no, that hole's way too small. You're going to have to get Invisalign first if you ever want to have a tooth implanted again.
Invisalign?
Invisalign.
What is that?
Invisalign is like braces but clear.
Oh, so they're going to have to pull them apart.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
so they're going to have to straighten my teeth out and make that hole bigger. Problem with Invisalign is like base Invisalign is $4,000.
Holy cow. And insurance doesn't cover any of that?
So like the dentist is doing this thing called Invisalign Week in the beginning of June.
Is that like Shark Week? Or?
Yeah, it's kind of like Shark Week. You go there and like there's just Discovery Channel stuff about it. No.
Oh, you know, sharks have like an infinite amount of teeth that just come out on a conveyor belt. On a documentary.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's a good time. Yeah,
but we don't have shark teeth. But yeah,
no,
that's
Anthony,
my point.
It's not like Shark Week. It's not anything like Shark Week.
Okay, we've cleared that up.
Okay. Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, you go there and it's like basically $3,500 instead of $4,000 if you get your Invisalign set up during Invisalign Week, right? So there's that. Probably gonna do that, and they said insurance covers up to like $1,800 of it. So even if I use insurance, it's gonna be like $1,700 total. Yeah. Which is like a lot of money.
Well, so I will say I think there's solutions for that, but it's paying over time, interest-free, but it's only for 12 months. Kind of something that I did when I got LASIK, which also kind of ties into VR. Kind of got LASIK for VR. Not completely, maybe like 10, 20, 30%.
Everything ties into VR.
But there is a company, I was just going to pay it all. It would have wiped out my my mini savings, like my temporary savings. But I decided to, that was $3,800. I decided to go through their payment thing, and it's through Care Credit, I believe. And it's basically no interest for 12 months if you pay it off in full. And I'm planning on paying off by the end of summer. But I decided just to like keep my money just in case like my car blows up or something like that, and then just pay it off as I can. It's like if they're gonna offer it, why not?
Yeah.
You know, I usually don't like putting things on credit like at all. I mean, you usually have a stronger version of that.
Same.
Like real strong.
Yeah, totally.
But if I was thinking about it, I was like, I have this huge like egg that can like really help me out if something really bad happens, and still keep paying it off even lower, because I'm like paying like $500 a month, $700 a month on the eye thing, the LASIK thing.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a strategic shift. It was like, okay, so I'm gonna keep this. It'll probably help my credit, but that's like an option, because $1,700, even if you do pay it off in 12 months, isn't that much.
It's like $140.
Yeah.
So it's like $140 a month.
Oh, so they did like offer something like that?
Well, I just did the calculator thing.
Oh, okay.
I just calculated it. Yeah. So if it was, I mean, $1,700 is like the minimum, right? Insurance can pay up to $1,800, so it could be less than that.
Okay, that's per year, right? Is that how
it's something like that?
Works?
I think so.
We probably have the same exact insurance.
We probably do. I have no idea, Anthony. But yeah, so we'll see how that goes. I mean, I still got my pre-order. I've still got $100 down on it, so I'll like reassess my situation when October comes, and if I can still afford to get it, then I will. But like, I'm worried. I'm not gonna lie.
You know what side I'm gonna be on.
I know.
I'm gonna say charge that shit.
I know, Anthony.
But I mean, if you really think about it, so October is when it launches. By August, the hype is gonna be. I'm gonna say up to like, I don't know, like the Colorado Rocky level.
Oh God!
So from sea level to Colorado. Now come like the end of September, the hype for this online communities, you're gonna read it every day, is going to be like at the moon by the end of September.
You think so?
Pretty sure.
You think
I mean, if it's anything that I went through these last 3 months.
Yeah.
It's going to be quite horrible.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Like, hype is fun for a small period of time, but when it drags on for months, it's absolutely horrible.
Yeah, I completely agree. The other thing that could, like, manage to combat that hype is my fear of living in an alley because I don't have enough money.
Oh, for, like, rent?
So, yeah.
Oh, no.
So we'll see. We'll reassess
yeah, that's
it.
not going to be good.
Yeah, because, you know, this has been something that, of course, I've been looking forward to for quite a while. So
yeah, I would be really sad.
Yeah, you would be really sad.
And yeah, it would be really sad. Like, cause I want everybody to have VR. So.
I know, it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing.
And I want to play your PSVR.
Yeah, that's what it really is. I understand what your intentions are, but yeah, we'll reassess that when it comes. But yeah, I just wanted to tell you about that. That's right. You better snap that can like 20 feet away from the mic.
I'm looking at the peaks and valleys on the.
I don't think you popped it. We're getting pretty dang close.
Yeah, my laughter apparently is quite explosive.
Your laughter's like on a Richter scale. It's like an 8.5.
I know. Every time I look, it reaches the bad zone.
Yeah, it's not a good time. Not a good time for.
So I'm wondering if when I'm out in public, when I laugh, is it making people's ears bleed?
The answer to that is yes.
Oh my God!
Do you remember when the TV broke earlier at work? That was because you laughed.
Oh my God. That was kind of crazy. Tempered glass. Oh
yeah. For the uninitiated, like, we were sitting at work earlier today, and we've got this big weird TV that shows, like, data or whatever, system runtime, you know, boring garbage on it.
Yeah.
And we were sitting there. Nobody's within, like, 20 feet of this TV. And it just freaking snapped. All we hear is this big, loud snap.
Yeah, it kind of sounded like a big light bulb exploded.
Yeah. Yeah. Look over and the TV is cracked, just for no reason. It spontaneously snapped.
Yeah, I thought one of our managers' little decorative things that he has fell over, like someone walked by. I mean, that's pretty feasible.
Yeah,
right?
Totally. Yeah.
So I looked over, I was like, someone broke his glass. And then I saw people congregating around the TV, Yeah. And then when I saw it, I was like, oh, my first spontaneous. This is so nerdy. So I just for like a background, we're off the Richter scale.
That's okay.
So just for a little background, this is really weird. So this will show kind of how much I'm on the internet, or maybe it's just how much I'm on Reddit.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
I somehow came across a decent amount of people telling their stories about how their tempered glass within their homes, whether it be like a table or a coffee table, has spontaneously combusted, and I've never heard of this.
And we talking combusted, you mean cracked?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. People's tables are like setting on fire.
Yeah. What is the word? Spontaneously explodes.
We'll say explode.
Yeah. And I was like, what is that? Like, I've never even heard of that. And apparently, it's really rare. And but all these people were chiming in, and it was so many people. Like, so on Reddit, when there's like a couple people, it could be like, maybe. But then when there's so many people, it's kind of like the people have spoken type situation.
Yeah.
Kind of got to take everything with a grain of salt unless the masses start talking.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody was saying, and then of course there's the smart scientist Redditors that come in and explain the phenomenon that everybody's freaking out about. And I Googled it right after it happened just to make sure, because it was a while ago that I read this, and like small imperfections in the manufacturing process, like not pure, like some off thing could be in there, or as the glass is in its frame, if the frame's putting like uneven pressure on parts of the glass, that can happen. But it'll happen on like a coffee table, like real thick. There's real thick coffee tables. Like if there's like imperfection in there, just enough, I'd have to re-Google it, but I'm not gonna do it right now. But it's like everything, like tempered glass, everything's like under this like tense whatever, and then if it's just like a little bit there, it'll eventually just boom. Like people come home. That was a lot of the stories. They said they don't even own a dog or whatever. They come home and the glass is just like
that's insane,
shattered in their living room. Like what? There's nothing that hit it.
That's insane.
So that's why like when I saw it, I was like, I saw it for witnessed that, like I didn't actually see it, but I heard it and it definitely happened. So
yeah.
Now I can be one of those people next time it comes up on Reddit.
Yeah, you can be one of the Reddit. Right. Yeah, totally. Funny tangent. When I was in fifth grade, I had a friend named Ben Hamilton, and he claims that I broke his glass table.
Really?
One time when I went over to his house,
yeah.
And I was like, I didn't break the glass table. And he's like, my mom says she broke my glass table. And I'm like, then your mom's a liar. And he was like,
really?
Ah! Yeah. So he goes to our teacher and he's like, he called my mom a liar. And I'm like, he said I broke his stuff.
So he probably broke it. He's probably covering it up.
I probably broke the table.
Oh, really?
I'm not going to lie.
There's more to this story.
I'm not going to lie. I probably broke the table. I had kind of a temper when I was a kid.
Okay.
We played a lot of Crash Bash. That game got, the blood boiling.
Crash Bash?
Yeah.
I don't know this.
So, it was a PlayStation game, Crash Bandicoot.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
So, it wasn't made by the same people, but it's, a party game with, a bunch of mini games and junk.
Okay.
And it was freaking garbage.
Oh, I see. So there was a lot of rage.
Oh, yeah. A lot of bubbling rage in there. Yeah. So I think that game may have sent me over the edge, potentially.
Okay.
I'm not going to admit anything right now.
So you're actually admitting.
I'm not admitting anything.
That you broke
I'm not doing that. I'm saying it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
that
I see where. Okay, so you're Bill Clintoning this. Is that what you're doing? The definition of glass table? What is the definition of glass table?
That is exactly what I'm doing with this.
Okay.
That is exactly.
What is the definition of is?
What is the definition of me breaking your stuff? And you know what the worst part is? I called his mom a liar, so I can't retract that now.
Calling someone's mom a liar, that's you really got to commit to that.
And I was in 5th grade, too.
Yeah.
I was in 5th grade.
Wow.
So I was
I could see that. 5th grade, yeah, I was just barely surviving, on 2 feet. I understand.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a thing that happened in my life. It was a big point of contention. Now we joke about it, I broke my glass table, and I'm like, oh, lol, yeah. But inside, I'm like, I'm gonna freaking kill this kid. But yeah, so that was a thing in my life at one time.
Mm.
Oh, the one.
Yeah, that sounds actually kind of traumatic.
Yeah, it was.
Because you got a cover up in it. You're there's people accusing each other. You got people's moms involved. A teacher.
Yeah. And I remember the teacher's face. It wasn't even our teacher. It was a teacher that was just in the hallway.
Yeah.
He was he brought him in as a peer mediator in this situation. No, I was freaking, I don't care.
Oh wow, so you're super cool under that pressure?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I'm totally full of crap. I was probably super concerned about the whole situation
Yeah.
about being put in detention, having to stay in homeroom during recess. Didn't want that to happen.
Arbitrary rules that we actually cared about.
Yeah, didn't like that. One time, I did have to stay in from recess once. It was supposed to only be for 5 minutes. And the teacher forgot to say that I could leave after 5 minutes, so I just started crying and I sat there for the whole recess.
Oh, wow.
That was a really bad time. But then, like, everybody came in and they saw me and they were like, it's okay. And I'm like, oh thanks, guys. And then the teacher felt like crap, and I felt happy because of that, because she deserved it.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, it was a good time.
Wow, that would have been probably traumatic for me.
It was very traumatic.
Around that time, especially if I accused someone's mom of being a liar. And you have something breaking.
Yeah. These two things are completely unrelated.
Oh,
right?
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
me staying in from recess was a completely different thing.
Right. So
yeah.
I was mixing those two.
That's okay.
I was thinking any punishment was towards that.
Oh, no, it's okay. I was a very sensitive kid, too, at the time.
Yeah.
I was very, like, I've got to be, like, nice to everyone and perfect and garbage. So, being accused, I was like, at first I was like, oh, no, how could you think that I would do something like this at first? And I think it was some bullcrap reason, too, like, something I didn't even do, but I was too, like, distraught to argue it, and I didn't want to argue because I was, like, super non-confrontational.
Yeah.
So I just stayed in from that recess and, like, cried. It was good.
Well, at least you got it out.
I did. Didn't happen again.
Yeah, I was kind of that way as a child as well. Non-confrontational, never really getting in trouble.
Yeah.
So when I did get in trouble, it was kind of like a big deal for me.
Yeah. Totally know the feeling.
But then somewhere I lost it. Somewhere along the lines. Like I went to public school to 6th grade, and then 7th, 8th grade I went to this Nazi boot camp of a Catholic school.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I was in Lebanon. I won't say the name. I mean, it was all right. It wasn't that bad, but going from public school to Catholic school after being in public school for 6 years up to 6th grade, it was kind of jarring.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, I was developing these semi-automatic BB shooters made out of big pens, and I would sell them on the school bus. So the town I lived in was kind of far away from the town that I was going to school in. This is Catholic school thing. So I would take so that was just 2 buses in the morning, maybe 3 in the afternoon. So there was a plethora of kids to sell to. So the market was fertile, is what I'm trying to say. And I basically took a design, you can't really picture it, and I don't really have one, but if you snap the top of a big mechanical pencil off, the thing that you click for the lead to come out comes out, and it's like a piston inside of a cylinder. Okay. So when you snap the pointy part off, it becomes that. So I learned this from a kid in 6th grade at public school, of course, making weapons.
Naturally.
So what he would do is cut a rubber band where it's a long rubber string then. He would tie one end of that to the eraser part of that piston thing, and the other end he would wrap around the pocket clip of the cylinder that the piston would kind of slide through.
Okay.
You would put a paper wad down the shaft of it. This is so weird. You would pull the piston back and let go, and it would shoot the paper wad out, kind of like not a musket because it's not using any propulsion in the form of powder, but it was really neat because you could kind of shoot it like a mortar across the classroom. So you could have it underneath your desk, and you could shoot it, and it would like fly out, and no one would see an arm throw. So like people would get hit in the head, have no idea where it's coming from because it was coming from a mortar team across the room. So,
dude, you do like sneak attacks.
Oh yeah. So I mean, I think he built my first one, and then I went home and tried to figure out how. I mean, it was kind of simple, but if you've never seen one before, it's like this is new tech.
It's like majesty.
So for the longest time, like I would just make those out of pens from home.
Oh my god.
Pencils. And then like the whole how can I make this semi-automatic? I don't know where it came from. I was born with BB guns, running through the woods with BB guns. So like, I don't know. I wasn't a violent kid, but I've been around
guns
things
are
like
cool.
that. So I was on a bus one day. I remember it very vividly, and I had my head against the window, and I was trying to think of how to improve upon that design for more like
Let me just take a step back. How old were you this time?
I was in 6th grade when I first discovered the initial design by that one kid.
So think of like a 3.5 foot tall 6th grader doing all this.
Yeah, pretty young. Pretty young.
Okay.
And it was my transition from public to that private school in 7th grade. And something hit me. I don't even know what I was thinking of, but something hit me where basically my brain was like, pinball. Think of a pinball machine. Like how you have the piston and the balls are in that slot, and then as the piston goes down, a ball comes out, and then you fire it. Kind of like that. I call it the pinball effect. I thought it was like whatever.
Did you call it the pinball effect in 6th grade?
Yeah. I have it written out. I have actual designs that I wrote out because I was scaling the business to where I would just start selling designs instead of actually manufacturing.
Oh my god!
I'm not even joking. I have.
Oh my god!
I still have them.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you at all. So it was the pinball effect. So what that entailed, my dad was a real handyman, so he had tons of tools.
Okay.
And apparently my parents did not care what I was doing in the garage for hours at night. Because I remember it was usually at nighttime. This is a story I don't think you've ever heard.
I haven't. This is new.
Brand new one.
This is a podcast exclusive.
This never really comes up at work, especially...
No, why would it?
Exactly. It's kind of like...
We're too busy talking about things that are important.
Yeah, exactly. Like work.
Yeah, like work, of course.
So I had the basic effect in my mind where like the ball, as the piston passes a certain spot, the ball drops down through the hole and then it fires it off. So I went through a couple prototypes. I still have one of my first ones, like the third one in, that actually worked well. I still have it. So what it entailed was the same design with the basic piston and the shaft and the rubber band. But this time, on the cylinder, take the shaft out where you just have the cylinder. About 2/3 the way up, or right about in the middle, you drill a hole in the top. Now, those big pens were a hexagon type shaped thing, so I had to use one of the anchored anvil or vices. So I would put the thing in a vice, slowly like twist the knob as it presses in.
Oh, okay, I got you.
So I'd have it in there, and then I would hand drill it. I would take my dad's drill. My parents, Lord knows what they're doing. I mean, they were great people. But Lord knows what they were doing while I was doing this.
They just neglected you for hours.
What's Anthony doing with the power drill? He's fine. So I take my mom's hot glue gun, my dad's drill and vice, and I drill a hole into the cylinder. And so now there's a hole in it. So what I did was, this is going to be hard to vocalize. So then I would take a pen tube, a Bic also. I'm not sponsored by Bic whatsoever, by Bic pens. So
we just got 10 cents.
Yeah. So, yeah, we need to get sponsorship for this.
We'll get there.
I don't think they're going to sponsor semi-automatic designs for their
You never know.
writing utensils.
It could be in Toys R Us by the end of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, look at this Nerf. So
Bic is now a main competitor of Nerf. Out of nowhere.
Could you imagine? The stock prices soar. Investors are running around with papers flying everywhere on the stock exchange because they have no idea. They did not see this coming.
Nerf stock tanks. We don't need you anymore.
We'll need to sell them the design.
It's gonna happen.
So it's got a hole, and in order to have to make it semi-automatic, you have to have multiple rounds.
Of course.
So the hole was there so I could have a clip on top to feed the piston as the piston goes underneath the hole for the thing to drop in. Boom. So what I did was I cut a regular pen tube. So like a rolly, like circular tube pen, regular ink pen.
Yeah.
I would cut that to the length that I wanted the clip to be. How many BBs could be in it? Like BBs for like a BB gun.
Yeah.
And I made it where this will be too technical, but so I made it where it would fit on top of that hole, and then I would hot glue gun it, wait for it to cure. So it was like an overnight thing. So then the next day I would wrap the rubber band around that.
Yeah.
And put BBs in it, and then put the pen cap on top of that to close the clip off.
Yeah. Okay.
So you would pull the piston back, and you could hear a BB click down in it.
Oh, good lord.
And let go, and it would fire that BB.
Oh, my
And
God.
I'm used to, like, paper wads.
Yeah, you're playing with fire now.
So it would launch that BB, and I was like, holy cow. And then it was like an epiphany. The epiphany was the pinball thing.
I think there were a series of epiphanies in this process.
Yeah, but coming from an epiphany to actually a working thing or whatever was quite a eureka moment. It was, I'm telling you, like I was in 7th grade. But this was my first big mental eureka moment. So.
Oh my good lord.
So I was test firing it in the garage, and I remember it just worked flawlessly from the bat, right off the bat. It just so happens that the hexagonal shape of the piston allowed the BB to sit on the flat surface. I mean, everything was just perfect for it.
Oh my dear lord.
And so I sold these things. Oh yeah, I forgot what I was even originally getting to. So I sold these things on the buses. Long story short, I sold about 10 of them for $10 each. So making $100 because the pens came from the junk drawer of the house. So
oh my god,
there was no overhead. Just my time. So I literally made $100. I mean, doing something I love. It was a labor of love.
And when you're in 6th grade and you have $100, this
was 7th.
Still,
6th grade.
When you're in 6th through 12th grade, through I would say even college, if you have $100, you are a high roller.
That's a big deal, and it was
influx. Yeah, you are hitting up the pencil dispenser like a freaking god.
Oh, that's true. Throwing down honeys.
I'll take 3,000 mechanical pencils.
Well, there's a downside.
Okay.
So
I have a hard time believing that.
I started having a warranty service and everything. So I would fix the rubber bands if they ever broke for free. So I had a service, I had warranties, and so they could trust by buying from me. And one of the most flattering moments during this whole process of me selling them is some kids in the, I was in 7th grade then when I was selling them. Yeah. So some kids at that Catholic school in 6th grade tried to make their own version of it.
Oh, really?
Semi-automatic and all. They didn't.
People copy the designs.
Think small, let's try to get a one-shot going, like a musket, like what I learned off of.
Yeah.
And they went right for the semi-automatic Gusto, and they. Someone brought it up to me, and I remember that was probably the first time I can remember being smug. Because I looked down at the product.
That was the first time you remember being smug.
It is. Because I remember. Because I looked down at their product, and it was held together by tape, and the tubes were all. I mean, this was I don't like Apple whatsoever.
Sure.
But this is a polished Apple product. Compared to a Chinese knockoff that you get in a side alley visiting Hong Kong.
You turned your nose right up at that thing.
It's that big of a difference.
Oh my good lord.
It was quite stark. So that, I mean, okay.
So of course, naturally you launched some attack ads, of course.
Well, no, so I exhausted my market on this one bus, and this is the ultimate downfall. So now that from the public school to the Catholic school, there was all the Catholic kids from K to 8.
Sure.
And there was no 8th graders, so I was one of the older kids. And I sold them to all these kids, and they used their allowance money to buy these things. And I mean, $10. It wasn't like I was selling them for $50.
Yeah, you weren't swindling these kids out of stuff that big. It wasn't that big of a deal.
Exactly. Yeah,
they could survive. They could still get
$10. I mean, back then it was a lot of money, but it wasn't I'm stealing money from my mom's wallet.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So
just their mom's wallets.
Basically. Exactly. Well, I guess it was coming from their parents indirectly.
Hey, it's their money. They can decide. They can decide.
But the ultimate downfall was once I sold those BB shooters to pretty much everyone on that bus, we started having BB wars.
Okay.
And I had tons of. What is there?
No, keep going.
Oh, okay.
Keep
I thought we were
running
going hard.
No, you're good. No, you're good. No, good. Keep going.
So I thought.
BB wars.
So I had. Okay, you remember those crayon boxes that had little side compartment's or whatever.
Yeah, and the rich kids had the one with like the crayon sharpener on the back of it.
Yeah, I didn't have that. I had one. I just had like the basic where it just had it was compartmentalized.
You had like okay.
It was like one of those suitcases or like that's supposed to have a guitar in it, but it really has a Tommy gun.
Oh,
so I would open mine up and it would just be weapon parts, rubber bands, packets of BBs. And in my arsenal, I had like a sniper rifle where I used, those rubber bands that are wrapped around garlic? Not garlic, broccoli?
Yeah.
Those real thick ones?
Totally.
I had one of those on a 3-round sniper rifle one. Because the clip couldn't be too tall because of the pressure of the rubber band. It had to be a little snub nose type thing.
So you were carrying around a literal arsenal.
Oh yeah,
in
100%.
In your private school.
100% semi-automatic BB shooters, and I had kits where I could make them and fix things on the fly.
And you had a business where you sold these items.
Exactly.
So you were coming up to little kids with a big trench coat, and you were like, "What are you buying?"
Well, I wasn't so creepy.
Okay, it's fine. I'll give you that. No, you were really right.
But yeah, I think they just saw me shoot it, and I mean, what kid is not going to want one of those?
No.
Exactly.
Every kid. Yeah.
So we had a couple of our bus driver was really cool. From that one school, it was an exchange bus.
You're like,
she was kind of South Park.
That's okay.
What does the South Park bus driver say? Sit down and shut up, or something, or she just keeps yelling.
Something like that.
Sit down, shut up. She wouldn't say shut up, but she would just be sit down, but then she would let us just get crazy again.
Yeah, so she did her due diligence, and then
she would be nah, whatever.
Yeah.
Because there was 15, 20 of us on a bus that could hold 50. So we were all in the back. She couldn't know what we were doing.
So you could have ranged wars.
Oh yeah. So we'd be on the floor of the bus and shooting these.
What the heck?
Underneath the seats.
If their parents knew.
Oh, they
this
would have
bus driver.
Yeah, I never thought of the repercussions of doing this and ramifications. So
you basically started your own private army, Anthony.
Pretty much, but we would shoot it. I guess we were just practicing. Yeah, I guess I could have turned them on someone. Bus driver.
You 100% could. Let's not dig too deep into that. People will think we're
crazy. Yeah. No, it was all in pure fun. It was all good fun.
Yeah, totally.
And business and money making.
Yeah.
So
entrepreneurial.
We would have these wars, and this. When everybody got them, we had the first semi-automatic BB shooter of World War. It was huge. I mean, everybody was loaded up. Everybody had their BB shooters. Uh-huh. Everybody was loaded up on BBs. And we had one of the biggest shootouts I ever remember. And I remember as the bus would take these turns, all these BBs would roll from one side to the other.
Goodness gracious.
And you could pick them up and reload your gun. So, you'd wait for a turn.
Dude, it was like COD.
You would wait for a turn, and all these BBs would come over. And you'd load your clips, and then just start shooting again.
Holy crap!
And it was just crazy. And you as the bus turned, you'd have to aim forward because of the curve. It was pretty neat. It was neat until we got to the bottom of the hill.
Here it comes.
Right before school.
Oh.
Right before we came to school. So there was this hill we came to, and it was a hard break. All the BBs rushed to her feet, the bus driver's feet. That was the last straw. She put up with a lot until a river of BBs that seemingly came from nowhere came rushing to her feet, and she reported us to
the police,
the office.
Okay, police would have been acceptable.
She just yelled at us. She didn't tell us she was going to report us. She was smart in that. Because then we would have came up with our stories or backstories, whatever.
You would have had your weapons ready, so when they came and got you.
disposed of, or
Yeah.
I wouldn't have. I don't know what I would have done.
Yeah.
But we got yelled at, and she said stop doing it, and then we thought that was the end of it because we got away with murder. Anyways, let me speed this up. Yep. So I get to class, and halfway through the school day, I hear. This is a really small school, so when they call someone in the office, every classroom hears it over the PA. They don't have a decision on what room. This is a Catholic church school.
This is how my hometown school was too.
Okay.
So they're Austin, report to the office, and the whole class is
Exactly, but this is the whole school.
You're gonna die.
So I'm in science class, I remember, and I hear so and so call the office. And I don't think anything of it because it could be a doctor's note or they need to leave early or something like that.
Sure.
But it was someone from my bus. But I didn't think anything of it. Then another person from my bus got called on. They were calling from youngest to oldest.
One by one.
And the second one, I still didn't think anything of it because it was the same family member. And then a third person, and this was not the same family. And that's when I started getting concerned. I started putting the connecting the dots.
Yeah, put them together right.
So then... by the fourth and fifth, I was oh no, this is not good. So I finally got called to the office, and I come into the principal's office, and she has, I want to say 6 or 8 of the kids in the office, and I have no idea what they've talked about at all. I have no backstory.
Shoot.
I don't know who is cracked or whatever.
Right.
the principal holds up one of the kid that I sold to their web. Like I recognize it because I made it.
Of course.
Holds it up.
It says like Gorman Tech on the side.
No, I should have branded it. I didn't.
It's good that you didn't probably.
I had service. I had, so I never got to the branding part. Oh,
Anyway.
I was going to sell the plants, but whatever.
Yeah, anyway.
So she tells me what that was, and luckily the rubber band was off of it. The person who ever gave it to her was smart in thinking that. So I made it look like you flick the little thing, and it shoots out like a paper wad. So I really downgraded it.
Okay.
And so she accepted that as like what it was, and she's like, "Do you have any? I want yours." So I went back and got my crappiest ones and brought them up.
Of course.
And I had to sit out of Olympic Day, which I hated anyway. So the reason why this all got sparked was because of your story of recess.
No, it was because of Ben's glass table that I didn't break.
Yeah. Well, like you were sitting out of recess.
Right.
That was like for some reason that's what sparked this whole thing.
This was a phenomenal tangent. Tangent.
That turned out to be quite whatever. I don't really talk about this story.
No, it's okay. It's good. This is the first. It's good that we documented it for future generations. Hopefully, I think we have to put a disclaimer like, please don't do this.
Well, yeah, I mean, because honestly, like eyeballs could have got injured, like real, like when you're a kid, like how we were talking, like when you're a kid, you
don't think about health.
You don't think about health,
you don't think about
repercussions,
death. Right?
Anything like that. You don't want to get in trouble, but you don't think of like, okay, making a semi-automatic weapon will get me in trouble.
Yeah.
Like those things it's just really cool.
Yeah, 100%. Yep. Yeah, I get it. But yeah, so to put a pin in this.
Yeah.
What is Olympic Day? Is
that
like field day?
So the public schools called it field day.
I had field day.
Okay.
I had field day.
So field day made sense in my brain. Them calling it Olympic Day seemed really
It sounds
weird.
like a private school trying to be pretentious is what it sounds like.
It sounds like it was trying to be better than what it was. And it turned out to be less than that. So one of the events in this Olympic Day was a tricycle race.
A tricycle race.
To give you an example of how much I did not miss missing.
But that sounds awesome.
No. When I was in there, she was like, your punishment is missing Olympic Day. It was in like a week. And I think I feigned like, no. But, I'm not a good liar. So I probably was just like, oh no. She probably was like,
oh no, don't take away Olympic Day.
I mean, honestly,
Please.
It wasn't. Because I saw the events. Because like field day in public school is like really cool. Like we had like, it wasn't 4K, but it was like track and like wheelbarrow races and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
dude.
For some reason, their Olympic Day was like real, like, I mean, tricycle races.
It sounds mega lame. Like, like my field day in my public school was like, we had 3-legged races, basketball tournaments, right? We had a euchre tournament.
Oh, okay.
Which I won.
Wow.
Yeah, euchre champion of Rising Sun High School.
I'm about to remember that.
It's a good time, yeah, definitely. Yeah. You're the best. But yeah, we had that. We had like sack races, stuff like that. Different random. We had what I can't believe that we had, but we did was tug of war. We had a tug of war between the class, and everything was between the different classes. So it was like class of 2012, class of 2011, class of 2010, all against each other, and the different classes were competing. Man. So it was a freaking bloodbath. And
like classes that are close together, like you would think it would be lopsided, but it might not.
Yeah. So the thing that was bullcrap is that the seniors won every year, and we knew it was rigged. Nobody said it, but we knew it was rigged, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, like there was, like they were getting points for like no reason and like doing random stuff. They would get like 50 points for some garbage. So it's like us, of course. So the like sophomores.
FIFA. They were like FIFA.
Corrupt. Yeah. Yes. They were like. I assume what you're saying about FIFA is correct. But yeah.
That was very correct.
Yeah. So us as sophomores, the last day we had field day because we didn't have field day my junior senior year because it got rained down. They canceled it and then they forgot it existed the next year. Right. But my sophomore year, we were like, we're gonna beat these guys, right?
Yeah.
We are the best class. It's been in this school for decades.
Every class.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Anthropolium and his seniors are going to Anthropolium. I'm sure you're a nice man now if you happen to be listening to this for any reason. I think you'll
be the one man.
I think you work at a law office now, so it's good. I'm proud of you, but I really wanted to destroy your class. So we freaking put our blood, sweat, and tears on the field that day, Anthony.
For tug of war.
For tug of war. Tug of war was the biggest thing.
Yeah, because that seems like that would be like the crescendo.
Oh my god, because you're putting all your power into like, oh,
the final,
yeah, and we lost the tug of war, but we should have won overall, but we did not, and the seniors won again.
Were you at least close?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
We were very close. I feel like we were within a very small margin of points, but we did lose.
Which still probably took them down a notch, that the sophomore class was that close to
Oh,
the senior
dude,
class.
they were angry. I remember this one kid, like, he was angry at something, and he took... This sounds really patriotic, but it's kind of actually, like, closer to terrorism if you think about it.
Yeah.
But he had, like, this big, giant American flag pole, like, on a pole, and he just winged it in anger.
Oh, my God.
And, like, that could have impaled someone.
Yeah,
right?
like movie style. That's what I'm thinking.
He was like, ugh! And he just threw it, and they're like, oh my god!
Like the kid that didn't want to be involved in the whole thing gets impaled.
Yeah, by an American flag.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, I'm a foreign exchange student. This is right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that happened field day. I mean, yeah, I understand how like you weren't super down about missing your.
No, I would have been bummed at the public school one because that was actually kind of fun. But yeah, the Catholic school one kind of stunk.
Sounds like a lame old time.
And I missed it, and I don't miss it.
No, I don't blame you.
Now I have that life story, so.
Yeah. We'll revisit it someday, maybe. Maybe we'll have our own field day. We'll have a P&G field day. We're playing kickball at work.
That would be tons of fun. Yeah, different
Not too far away.
departments.
Yeah.
Well, we're doing that cross-department kickball.
That's if other departments agree to it.
Who would not agree to that?
Departments that don't want to look like fifth graders would
Or
not
actually
agree to
have
that.
a lot of work to do.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm hoping that the same people that like diss on us for not doing anything start joining us in these escapades because people have the same amount of free time we do.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I mean, what does it take? Like an hour and a half to do the kickball?
It's not that long.
Yeah.
You can take an hour and a half out of your week.
And it was tons of fun.
Oh my god.
Because everybody, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I'm pretty sure everybody was that at least participated. Even the people watching seemed like they were having like a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. Got a lot of good
like
videos.
All the Prager girls and like everybody.
All the Pragers.
Wait, did any of them
Angela
play?
participated.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
That's right. I forgot. I thought she did.
She did, and she was an all-star, as was to be expected. You know, I mean, it's kickball. It's not like it's something like hardcore like.
But still, yeah, that takes some
courage. It does. It does. Kicking
and
for two.
I almost hit Leanne right in the head with a line drive. She wasn't paying attention, but she did right at the last minute. But
it's good that she dunked
it was like a foot over her head.
Oh
I remember watching. I was like, the trajectory is like right to the.
You almost got kickball canceled forever.
It would have hurt.
Oh,
because someone took a slow motion video of that same kick.
I saw that.
And I saw the linear arc of it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there was an arc, but it was like mainly linear.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, if that hit her in the face, that would have hurt.
She would have been done.
Like, I only got a single hit. I'm not trying to, like, boast myself. But that would not have felt. Like, like, it was because she wasn't looking. You know what I mean? How an injury is more, if you're not expecting it, it's, like, that much more jarring.
Yes.
That's what it would have been. That's why it would have been, ugh.
Yeah.
I would not have, it would have hurt. I would have probably fell down, like.
And it was one of those rubber, like, padded kickballs, too.
It was, like, the legit kickball from, like, gym class.
It was. It so was.
It
100%
was. I was concerned about that because I was like, there's no way they're going to get a good kickball.
And
it's probably going to be some, like, wiffle thing or something.
Or, like, those weird foam soccer balls.
Yeah, like G-rated so no one gets hurt. Yeah, foam soccer ball where you, like, kick it and the wind just takes it and foul.
Yeah, I know this was a hardcore kickball. But
yeah, this was legit.
Yeah, hopefully other departments agree to that.
Patrick almost could have ran, if he would have went for that one fly, he would have ran into that, like, pipe sticking out of the ground.
He could have hurt himself.
Why did we not see that? Like, I didn't even think there was a pipe in the middle. It was right behind second base, where the second base player would be.
Yeah, or was it second base or was it first base?
I mean, it was in between first and second.
Gotcha.
Like
in that,
where the second base player in baseball would be positioned. And I remember watching him going for it. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, he could have died. He could have died pretty easily.
Or at least, rattle the jewels for a little bit.
Yeah, as they say.
100%. As they say in kickball.
As they do. Well, hopefully those other departments join us. I have a feeling they might not, but hopefully they join us in our escapades next time.
About that kickball.
I am too. Okay, but I think that is a good place to end this inaugural episode of what are we calling this?
We never even discussed it.
We're calling it. This episode is called Cool Times with Anthony and Austin. Cool Times with Anthony and Austin. That's what
sounds good with me.
That's okay.
I mean, if it ever becomes big, I mean, you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
This will be interesting, and we'll probably look back at the cool time.
Cool time.
It just seems like 90s to me. I don't know why I think that, but yeah.
It's like a public access TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, thank you for joining us. We hope the 2.5 people that listen to this, if you made it all the way through, I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah. We're not going to go there. They can get offensive. But yeah, thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week with more, whatever we talked about this week.
Later.
Bye, everyone.